Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Charlie's Angel Stream. Here's Charlie. How's everyone doing today? Hey, Bill. Hey, Colin. Hey, Alex. Hey, Jay. Hey, MakeRS. Hey, Dominovox. Hey, Danny. Hey, Large. Hey, Truggy and Brian and Mad Shammy. JH and NH3D and Tuxedo. Tuxedo won't be able to be here today, though. How's everyone doing? Oh, yeah, you get to see me scroll the chat. Hey, Jorg. Hey, Ken. Hey, James. Hey, Ella and Maurice. Extra pets for Charlie. Yes, Charlie needs extra pets, that's for sure. Yeah, he is slowing down a little bit. He's still eating, which means he's comfortable. So we'll hope that sticks as long as it can. He's eating right now. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Q. Hey, John. Hey, Trippin' on a Duck and PF Dennis and NH3D. Hey, Porty. Hey, Phil. Okay, we are going to build another blaster today because it's fun. Apulo brought extra kits to the Midwest Rep Rap Festival, and that's what we're going to be building today is a Cynthia, which is from a designer who goes by Sillybutts. Hey, Martin from Germany. Hello. Thanks for being a member. Hey, Felix and It's Mike. Mad Shemmy, thank you. Hey, Sean. Line at Target. Laura made you go shopping. Not a flywheel blaster. Eventually, I'm going to build a flywheel blaster. I'll do a flywheel blaster on stream for sure. That'll be probably another Charlie's Angel stream or not, depending. I am going to build one more Springer because I ordered the parts for it last night. So I have a question about today's build because of my own screw up. So because of that, I ordered some extra parts at Out of Darts, and somehow a slab found its way into a slab kit found its way into my shopping cart. So since I can't give memberships, here's a few bones to help cover darts. Thanks, Matt Jimmy. Oh, hey, Rushmere. Collie I think I said hi, Collie. Anyway, so yeah, we're just gonna kind of play around and build a blaster today and its performance compared to the Talon Claw that I built before, and we're just gonna have fun doing it. Hey, Troy. Hey, Mr. K and Justin. Hey, Sven. My brain is a little bit slow today. It made Fart Blaster from Foam Dart Blaster. I made a couple of unintentional funnies today. I'm sure everybody likes it when that happens. I for the announcement here, I said foam flinging fun, which really ties it back to the main purpose of the channel, right? FFF, use filament fabrication. So I can already see your son stealing a blaster for a fun shootout. Yeah. Ammo is important. Hey, Max. Hey, Apulo. I'll be around for a few buddies coming from Iowa to help finish his Doom build. That'll be fun. Awesome. Hey, Andrew. Fun filament fabrications. There we go. Bringing it all around. Okay, so I did print a hex tray. I thought it was going to fail because I printed it this morning and something is going on, maybe a piece of filament wisp or something with the filament sensor on the Mark IV, and it wouldn't do the filament swap. But holy moly, I like the way this turned out. Check that out. That filament with that concentric top layer pattern. And this is the Protopasta PETG that I used in the build. But isn't that cool? Ballistic Tech, I think, is the first person I saw, or at least that I saw, doing this filament swap, and I'm loving it. So that's why you're seeing so many of these from me with the filament swap. Giving some TLC to my 2.4, awesome. Working today, but I'm team lead today, so I have a bit of time to interact. Nice. Welcome, Pushing Plastic. Anyway, I was printing this morning because it said it was only going to be a 2-hour print. So I didn't want to do it late last night and have to stay up for the filament swap. But I noticed that the filament runout sensor has not been working lately, and I haven't determined why. I don't know if, like I said, if there's a wisp of filament in there blocking it or something going on. But what I didn't realize is that it is absolutely required, if it's enabled, for it to work in order for a filament swap to work. And I fiddled with it enough, and I think I got it to trigger, and that's why this actually worked. Hey, Shadell. Hey, Zombie. So this is Protopasta's, I put it in the description. What did I, it is, the names are fun. Tangerine Orange Metallic Gold and Mermaid's Tail Metallic Teal. Does filament swap on a stock main cell on 2.4 work, or must there be some changes in macros or something? It's pretty easy on any of the default, kind of the way main cell comms or any of those come. You just put pause, use pause. It does, unless you tweak the macro, at least on mine, it takes the tool head to the back corner of the printer, but that's fine. I've been doing that on several prints. So just in your slicer and Prusa slicer on the filament swap little section for custom macros or tool changer, depending on what method you're using, just put pause in there and it'll run your pause macro. If only I had a printer which would do a filament swap automatically. Yes, yes. I need to get the Tridex tuned up. That's for sure. And some tweaks done to make it a little more friendly. And that's all just macros and setup. I just noticed the link in the description to the Sillybutts YouTube doesn't work. You know why? It's because YouTube's link has an @ in it, and I think the oh yeah, here, let me change this. Let me see if this works. See if that works. Yeah, see if that works. You'll have to refresh, but I just tweaked it. Yeah, it's the @ that I noticed screwed that up. Now I don't know if that's actually needed in the link. Let's find out. If we go over, this is the video we're gonna be using, but let's bring up a new youtube.com/Sillybutts. Does that come up? Yeah, it does. Let's change it to that. Let's just get rid of the @ Now it'll work. The last one worked too, it sounds like, but I just got rid of the @ and it seems to still work. So anyway, Sillybutts is the designer of this blaster. And one thing I want to note that I think I understand this correctly. There are several or many foam dart blaster designers out there, and many of them release their designs for general free to use. You can download them from Thingiverse, you can download them from Sillybutts GitHub. If you're going to buy hardware kits, I highly recommend checking where you're buying from to make sure they're giving a kickback to the designer. I know Out of Darts does it. I know Silver Fox Industries does it. I doubt that many of the Etsy sellers do. So I just want to mention that. Let's give back to these designers. Make sure you're checking. There might be Etsy designers that do the same thing, or Etsy sellers, but check. I think that's a good thing. I think it would be good if you're planning on building one of these to buy from a place that does support the designers. We want more of these cool things, right? I see a Minecraft banner on their channel, very on theme with Steve builds. Yes, I didn't notice that until you just said that. So Frontline Foam is not authorized to sell Sillybutts kits. Okay, so like I said, check. I don't know the best ways to check. I know that Out of Darts and Silver Fox both put a little statement there that, hey, we license these from the designers. So whatever agreement they have, but if there's some sort of support of the designers. You know, when I first started my channel, if you search for Steve Builds, I was like down on the list behind a bunch of Minecraft channels. Now I think I'm first on the list, but So anyway, the kit that we're building today is from Silver Fox and Apulo here in the chat. I met him at Midwest Rip Rap Festival. He brought a couple of these kits, and now we're gonna build one. So thank you, Apulo. I appreciate that. There aren't any like web-based or printed instructions for this. Here, let's do that. So there is a video though, and I think we can, and I've watched this video a couple of times, so I have a good idea of the assembly process, and I think we can just basically step through this video to double check, just to make sure I stay on track with the order of operations. It's also funny because the Minecraft character you play is named Steve, so Steve does build in Minecraft, yep. Yep, hey Andres. Okay, let's go over a problem that I think is might be a problem. So one of the parts of, unlike the Talon Claw 4, this blaster requires that you glue something. And it requires that you glue the polycarbonate plunger tube to a printed part. And in order to ensure that that joint is strong enough to demonstrate, to be able to fire the blaster on stream, it really needed to be done ahead of stream. So I did that last night. And then after I was done gluing it, I was going over, watching the instructions again, and I noticed a spot that I screwed up. And I'll explain that. So this is the plunger, and I used super glue because I didn't have any epoxy on hand. So there is a white residue to it, but I'm really pleased with how well the glue control came in. There's no glue down around the O-ring. It's pretty consistent around there. I just did a cylinder in Prusa Slicer and did a vase mode print as a spacer to help hold this in place as I was gluing it and putting it together. So this is just a quick 0.8 millimeter wall out of a 0.4 nozzle vase mode print that turned out pretty good. Hey Jeff. So let's go over the assembly of this, and then I'll tell you where I screwed up. And if you watch the instructions, you have this cap, this plunger cap, and it has an O-ring that goes around it, and you're supposed to grease that O-ring, and then along here you glue to put it into the plunger tube. You scuff up the first few millimeters of the plunger tube so the glue has something to catch on, and then you're supposed to put this in and glue it in place, and that's how it's described here. I had a problem with that. You're greasing an O-ring and then pushing it back past where your glue joint was going to be. So for anyone building this, I would recommend doing that, keeping your glue surface clear and pushing it in from the other side. And that's where this came in, because I was able to push this through nice and even. And then once it got close, I put my glue around there. And then, and I had also put a couple of the screws partially in. Oop. I had put a couple of screws partially in these mounting holes, so I had something that I could kind of grab onto and wiggle it to kind of spread the glue. So that's what I did. I put it in from this side, pushed this through, grabbed those screws and kind of wiggled it into the glue that was here. So, hey, you have a link to the STL for that hex tray. Normally I do, Mr. Patron, but for some reason the Charlie's Angels descriptions that I copy doesn't have my full thing. I'll put it in there. If you go to any of my other videos, there's a link to my printables profile, and you can get it there. Hey, Ostakay. Hey, BBs. So anyway, that's a little deviation from the instructions, I would suggest, because otherwise you're pushing a greased O-ring past a glue surface and then expecting the glue to stick. So, but now on to where I screwed up. And then I'll get a little better picture of the concentric infill, yep. Concentric top infill. It works so good for these hexes. So where I screwed up is I printed all these parts on both the Prusa Mark IV and my Mercury 1. So some of the orange and teal parts were printed on the Mercury 1, but all of the black carbon fiber, this is carbon fiber PETG, were printed on the Mercury 1, because I don't have a hardened nozzle for the Mark IV. Now, at some point I had a major layer shift, and it turned out that I had left my currents on my AB steppers on the Mercury 1 too low, and that combined with the heat break on the hot end that I was using getting a little loose, I think it caught and skipped steps and failed apart. Now it failed a little ways into the print, and this part happened to be on that plate. I was certain, and didn't realize, but I was certain that it had finished this part, so I used it. But it didn't finish, it didn't finish the little center piece there. So this is glued in here with not a complete profile there. Now what I'm hoping is the O-ring that goes in here and then the machine part that clamps in will still work well enough, but I've also ordered another plunger tube to fix it later. Did that all make sense? So if this doesn't fire well when we're done, that's why. I tried to pop that glue joint, it's not happening. Hey, Woodcat. So, my bad. I was looking at it, I didn't realize it didn't finish that print. And that is going to potentially be a problem. But I reprinted this one last night so I could demonstrate, and this is the one I'll use when I redo it. Fortunately, this little, I mean, it's for a short piece of polycarbonate, it's kind of expensive, but it's pre-cut. It was $4. I ordered that. I ordered a little pack of the O-rings that are sized for these blasters, and the slab, the Silly Lever Action Blaster parts kit. Hey, Jaeger. So, hey, Queasy Diver. What else? We've got parts here. Let's do a little bit of screw sorting. Isn't that what we do? We'll do some screw sorting to take advantage of this tray, because I just get a bag of parts here. So let's just put long screws in one compartment, O-rings in another, spring, we got a couple of springs, and then all these 440 screws. Is that camera a little off, or is Charlie getting blonde? The camera might be a little off. His color hasn't changed. His weight has, for sure. Hey, Tracy. So yeah, let's do a quick sort. I don't know what the bigger O-rings are for. Oh, those are for the barrels. Speaking of screw sorting, any updates on last week's sorting opportunity? I have not. I have put that at the back of my mind, far in the back of my mind. I don't want to deal with it. That is for later. Ordered a CNC Sherpa Mini and the aluminum 0.2X carriage for the last build. Nice. I have an aluminum X carriage, but it's not going to work for the V0 build we're doing tomorrow. The Bowden setup, as Kyle Hart designed, doesn't use the third screw. So Cheddar could give Charlie some of his weight. Oh yeah, he has plenty to spare. Okay, so we'll just leave this over here. Screws are sorted. I like that the fastener bomb is pretty small. I mean, you've got a ton of 440 screws, and it looks like you have 2 lengths of, these are 1032s, I think, and some nuts, and a couple of these cotter pins. Yeah. So the minimum fastener bomb is really nice. Now this, I think Silver Fox does not include a part for this build. There's a little plunger ball detent piece. I did order one of those from Out of Darts to put on here later. It just gives it a different feel. It's an optional part though. You'll see it when we go through the instructions. This week is a sawdust week for me. I have to cover the metalworking machines and electronics in order to build the wife some plantation shutters. Nice. That's the problem with me streaming out here, is I can't make a lot of dust. There's too much to cover. So the eventual goal is to move back to the other garage, but in a new configuration. Are you missing one pin perhaps? Oh, I hope not. I hope not. We'll find out. Hopefully we end up with a functional blaster in the end. Let's put that in there. Hopefully we'll end up with a functional blaster in the end. It's still there. So, and you know, let's go here. So if there are any changes, I think I can, oh, I don't want sound coming from there. So there's a bunch of options for this blaster is basically what he's going over here. Hey, Dr. Ronnie. And so we're gonna skip a bunch of this, but let me, before we go there, let me copy. I mean, you probably have been able to find this video on your own, but this is the instruction video we're gonna be covering. Hey, Jose. And let me put that in the, let me just pin that. Hey, Jake. Okay, and that should all go away. There we go. So now we're just gonna kind of skip through this. They're talking about the different options of the blaster, and there are a ton of options. I had to go through and pick a few. Would you estimate the cost of this build? The kit is $45 in most places from what I've seen. The hardware kit, and that's all these parts, the fasteners, this stuff. And the particular thing here is this little machine plunger. The brake, what do you call this? So I don't remember what they call this. Someone will say it in chat. And then these aluminum strips are just precisely or located holes. There's a template on the GitHub for where to cut those. This kind of stuff is what comes in the kits. And then plastic, and then filament. It is recommended to just buy a magazine. So this spring in here, it's kind of hard to get, hard to duplicate. The purchased ones work way better. So just leave that out. Looking at the Outer Darts kit, there are 2 of those little pins that are next to your springs. It may, I'm hoping it's an extra. I believe there's only one of those used, and I think it's on this, the magazine clip here, the release clip. I think this one goes in here. And I think it's the only one if I remember the instructions right. So that might be an extra on the Outer Darts kit. Posted a pic of Fabrico Blaster #1 in chat. Awesome. Hey, Steven. So I hope it's an extra too. We might be able to cobble up something that looks. I have a whole jumbled up assortment of M2 fasteners that I can probably cut the head off of something. use that. Okay, so going through, Turbo's getting out of business, yep. Hey, Chris. So, still talking about options. We got a Charlie visit up here. I don't want to pause this and skip through. So, print orientation on everything. Let's get into, yeah, look at all the different bits and pieces. This video is pretty good, actually. He does a good job of explaining the assembly process. It's just a little less convenient working from a live stream following instructions point of view, but we'll see how it goes. Charlie's overlooking in the last place that I hid his treats. He's got a memory. Okay, lots of different options he's still going through here. Spends a little bit of time on that. The different lineup, the different styles. All these parts are out on the GitHub. I just did a clone of that to my local drive and grabbed the parts I wanted. They're organized way nicer than the TC4 files because they're organized in folders by color. So I was able to grab all the parts much easier for keeping the colors separate. It's a half dart, Steven. It's the same short darts as, and same magazine, which was a big factor in this and the next one, the slab I'm gonna build, uses the same magazine. Okay, we should be getting to instructions here pretty soon. Okay, so we're talking about assembling the plunger system. So how this goes together, what goes in. Okay, so we're gonna assemble this first. So this is this piece here, and this piece here. Now there is a mention here on, depending on the diameter of your spring, whether there's a piece here that has more pronounced chamfers, so it fits in the spring better, and that's what I have here. Any plan to do a flywheel style blaster? Yes, I'd like to. Hey Willard, welcome. Hey Major Gamer Geek. Yeah, I'd like to do a flywheel style blaster. I don't know which one yet. That'll be probably quite a while. I need to cool it on new projects. I need to get some things around here done. So I have it in the back of my mind, but I don't want to bring it forward until I've got some space. Most of the community design blasters are half dart. In general, they're more accurate and fly further. Cool. Okay. We are going to play around as much as we can. We're not going to be able to use it for the whole build because there's some areas I think the pockets are too deep for it. But it came up on stream a while back, this Hoto driver. I'm going to put this on this lowest torque setting. I ordered this off Amazon during the Prime Day stuff. It wasn't that much cheaper than regular because they have some pretty big coupons on these. But this is a powered screwdriver for less than 50 bucks. If you search for Hoto on Amazon, you'll see a whole bunch of them, but I ordered the one with the bit kit. So it comes in this nice little holder case with a bunch of bits, and turns out the smallest Phillips here seems like it'll work fine for the darts. I don't know if this long bit will. Nope, this one will not. So we will be, does that have a clutch? It has, I don't know. it has different torque settings, and I know I can stop this at the lowest torque setting. So, well, I could if my fingers weren't somewhat moist. Wish I had 2 speeds. This one has, oh, it has, yeah, you're right. It is single speed. That's interesting. Good point. Mine came in a round case. I'm gonna use my hand as the clutch. Let it slip in my hand if it gets too torquey. Mine came in a round case, yeah. There's very slight differences between some of them too. Like the one Bill's talking about has an extra setting for off. This is just the 3 torque settings, and then the 2 buttons for forward and reverse. Every time you finish one project, you are allowed to start 2 more. I absolutely need to get my shed done. The shed is going to open up everything else. So. Hey, Ludwig. I think I'm gonna grab this little extension too. We're gonna go here and here. So this guy is gonna go on here with a couple of screws. So let's see how this works out. And I'm gonna just let that slip out of my hand when I feel like the torque is high, the screw is tight enough. Yeah, I think that works well. You need to cut all the extrusions for the tiny T today, quite a few with the side pack on it. Yeah, I can imagine. I saw your CAD of that. Yours has the offsetting? Yeah, mine doesn't. I didn't notice the differences like that. And there's a couple of screws on the side here. Yeah, and I think when that gets tight, I'm just gonna let it slip in my hand because I don't trust I don't know the torque. There we go. And maybe we'll grab a manual screwdriver here and just see how these feel. Yeah, they could have gone just a little bit more. I feel like my Ugga Dugga meter is much more calibrated than this. Okay, and then there's a couple of O-rings that go on here. This is something I'm noticing already. The last kit that I built was Silver Fox. No, was Out of Darts. This one's Silver Fox. The Out of Darts kit had extra O-rings. This does not appear to. It has exactly what you need. So there's one O-ring that goes on here to seal, and then there's another O-ring that goes on, and it goes around these around the printed features here. And what this is doing is acting as a bumper. So when this fires, and it's going to fire into this, that's a cushion. So I have a whole hex drive bit and countersink setup now. Don't need to steal the drill from the shop. Nice. So that goes there. Then we're going to grease that up before we put it in, but I'm not going to grease it up yet. I think that is where we're at for that. So that goes in that way. That's going to go there. Put a couple of fasteners, and then this is talking about the O-rings. Added wear extensions to those hard to reach places. Yeah, and I don't have a 1/4 inch to 4 millimeter adapter on this, so I can't grab my iFixit bits. So, and then, okay. And then we get into building the part of the other side of this. And they're talking about different options here. So there's an option for this orange part here where it doesn't use a nut, you just thread into plastic, and he says it's stronger. I did print the part, I just happened to print the part with the nut, so that's what I'm gonna use. So that's just talking about which options. One thing about Sillybutts design is he puts relief cuts in the screw holes, so it's less likely to crack. I have noticed that Sillybutts does, there's a lot of aspects of the design that I like as far as little things like that. I'm impressed. And really making sure that everything is printable without supports. I needed some supports for the talent claw. At least I felt like I needed supports for things to print properly. There were no supports used on any of these parts. So talking about this, and then we're going to be talking about gluing this together. So this part goes in. There's an O-ring that goes right there. You see that? And that's where I'm hoping we can get away with not having any problems here. Okay, it's only 20. Yeah. Hey, Michael. So I can't do anything about it now. So I'm just hoping that it'll fire adequately. It just means that this machine part will sit deeper in this printed part, and I think that'll still be okay. So talking about scuffing up the end of the polycarbonate tube. Hey, Mr. Joddity, welcome back. Scuffing up the end of the tube and putting this all together, gluing it, putting the O-ring on there and some grease. Glue might be easier if you attach the bolt base to the PT cap before adding glue. I also have another video specifically for gluing the plunger tube. Yeah, and there is a video in the description. There should be a Nerf battle at the next Rep Rap Festival. Well, we had the Nerf herders at Midwest Rep Rap Festival, and that was me and Nero trying to disrupt the battle racers, the death racers. Okay, so we're gonna skip a lot of this because it's just talking about gluing that in place, putting an O-ring there, and then screwing this part in. Now, when I was building this, something I noticed is before that glue was dry, I immediately screwed this piece to the end. Then I ensured that there is no gap there so that there's opportunity for that glue joint to move and break. And then I just put a clamp over the whole thing with super light pressure just to make sure everything was tightened or was glued and set with everything square. Let's see. Now we screw those in, and then there's 3 screws that go into this machined part. Does anybody remember? I mean, I asked earlier, I didn't see it mentioned. What is this thing called? What do they call this? This little machine plunger piece. Hey, buddy. Okay, that goes there, and then this goes in, and then you use the 3 screws around the outside to fasten this in place. So that's going to go in there. It needs to go all the way to the back, but there is one of these O-rings that goes in here first. And then the hope is that when this goes in here, it still creates a good enough seal. Ramrod? Okay. So I am going to do these by hand because this is a little more precise. Feel needed on this. Okay, so just where I see it. Or pusher. Ramrod or pusher. Okay. 3 screws here, and they kind of avoid the other screws, the mounting screws here. So these 2 are close to each other, and then 1, it looks like not quite directly opposite, and it's all about trying to avoid these screws. ERRF has advanced registration for each of the 3 Death Racer matches. Awesome. I need to make an attempt to participate in those at IRF. It's going to take a lot of printing and project time though, so we'll see. Okay, so this is not, the O-ring isn't centering itself in here because there's a gap that's created by missing this part of this printed part. Hey Jordy, what are we building today? We are building a Cynthia foam dart blaster. So now what I'm gonna do is hold this down and we're going to slowly tighten these fasteners to try to keep that still centered in there and coming out of that straight. So then the kind of a feel. Let's see if I can get yeah, that seems really straight. Just give it a little half a turn each, quarter turn each to make sure it's locked in. That looks straight. We can adjust that later if we need to, but that's on there. Hey, flying gyroscope. Okay. So talking about all this and making sure that's coming out of there straight. Yeah, don't let it be off center. This said if I look straight down this, it's really close. And there's going to be a couple of O-rings on the end here. I think I can put those on right now. There's 2 O-rings that go over the end. And this goes in here, and we'll grease those later as well before we get it on. So what happens with this is when you prime this and then push it back to firing position, it pushes the pusher into the barrel, and then those O-rings seal inside the barrel here. And then that's what creates the whole sealed system for then the plunger to push the dart with air. So, and then with some grease on there, it should seal better to the barrel. And this is kind of just explaining a little more about what the assembly looks like when it's all together. Okay, now we can get into building the front part of the blaster. This is a big piece of plastic. Hi, Charlie. Is your heater still on? Make sure you stay comfortable up here. There you go, kid. Hey, are you kidding? Okay, so big piece of plastic here. What else are we gonna need? The front and this, yeah, that, and a few other pieces here. And I am really hoping, I spent a lot of time going through trying to make sure I'm not forgetting any parts. Okay. So we got, I opted for this piece with the slots, but without the Cynthia logo, but it will have Picatinny rails on each side. It'll have 4 of them around the whole thing. This was printed on the Mercury one, needs some input shaper and pressure advanced tuning, but this is a big piece. I didn't want to reprint it. I felt it turned out well enough considering it's going to be covered in a lot of spots. Hey, Stuart. So, let's see. So there is a threaded rod we're going to need. Back here. Is it PLA or ABS? This is all PETG. So I took advantage of Protopasta's Murph sale. They had 20% off. Protopasta Filament is really nice and they have some amazing colors, but it's not cheap. So I ordered the Mermaid's Tail, the orange gold metallic, some Joel High Five blue, and the carbon fiber PETG. And I realize how much I don't like printing PETG. It absorbs moisture so bad. I had to dry all of this, and it made a huge difference in the print quality. I printed just a 2 perimeter wall cube, just 2 perimeter hollow cube. Measured the wall thickness, and it was 0.9 something. I dried the filament overnight, and it was 0.75. Same exact G code. Yeah, absorbs moisture even in California. Any testing on the Fabrico plastic glued for the PETG? I have no idea what the plastic glued is. Plastic glide. I have no idea what that is. Yeah. So PETG, dry it. It was interesting. I was talking to a coworker who is into printing, and he had no idea that PETG, he was having trouble with PETG, and I said, go buy yourself a food dehydrator, dry that stuff, and I bet you it's instantly better. The nozzle at Murph. I'm drawing a blank here, Delmar. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I actually pulled it out of the packaging because I was gonna swap it in. Thank you. I need to swap that in and use it because PETG likes to stick to nozzles and accumulate and leave little bits of itself on your prints. I know what you're talking about now. Thank you. Which part is this? So we have CAD. Oops, we have CAD for this. Which length is this one? We go here. And let's go here, and Cynthia bolt action blaster. I know what you're talking about now. I need to install one. I actually had opened one up, one of the hardened nozzles, and I was going to swap it onto that printer actually. Why did that do that? Oh, there we are. Okay. So we have the CAD here. Now we're going to come in here, and I think we're going to, let's get rid of, here, let's go bodies. What's going on there? Let's find it in the browser. Turn that off. That off. There's a whole bunch of them, so you gotta turn them all off. There we are. This guy here. And if we find that in the browser, 7.5 inch threaded rod. Okay. .5. So there's two of these. There's a longer one and a shorter one, and we want the 7.5 inch one. So the shorter one. Okay. The longer one is for the trigger mechanism. PETG is just meh. Yeah, I'm not a fan of PETG. I'd rather print ABS. But I wanted to do one of these blasters in PETG. The slab I'm going to do in ABS. So I've done PLA, PETG, and ABS, and kind of get my own feel for the pluses and minuses of each material on each blaster. Thanks, Ram Online. Grub screws are loose on my internet router again. Oh. Okay. So, let's go back to these instructions. So we want to put a, oops, I need to pause that. We're gonna put a nut on one end of this. And it's gonna go into this printed part. So this is gonna go in here. That, and then I suspect this is gonna go like this and stick out the end. It's really the only good thing I can think of. There is a plus to PETG. What is it? What is it, Tracy? Oh, for semi-transparent prints, yeah. But the only good thing I think of, drying on ASA ABS seems to be based on color. Stuff with aluminum oxide white seems to need drying. Okay, silvers, yes. ABS silvers, I dry for better results. Okay. That goes on there, and then we throw the nut on the end and give it a little bit of a tightening. Just kind of, maybe I can stick my pinky down there. I guess I can see if I can get this started. Yeah, there we go. I want that pretty much flush on this end, I think. It doesn't need to stick out. And, uh-oh. I took all of my Nipix pliers to the other garage. So we'll just tighten this up. Now, the orientation of this hex nut at the end needs to match because this is gonna go here. So we wanna make sure that that is, and I just happen to tighten it in the right orientation. So that can set inside of a pocket on there. That should be it. Hey, John. Okay, so that's gonna go there. Then the top rails. So which ones are for this? So I think these are the side rails. Those are gonna go there. And there. And then this is the top rail, yeah. So the long single piece one is the top rail. Sure there's a story behind the name Cynthia. Does anybody know? Apulo, do you know? I kind of like the buttons rather than the gyro on this screwdriver. The gyro can be, you can get used to it, but I kind of like just pushing a button. How am I finding it? This is the first I've been using it, is this build. This is the first time I've used it for anything. Hey, Charlie. I have the black biochef dehydrator. I can do half dozen rolls at a time. Nice. I can do 2 at a time on mine. It's just the Rosewell Amazon cheap dehydrator. Got the Hodo and I've been pleased. Nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the, is there any reason not to put these on? This side. I don't think there's any reason not to put them on. A little more torque than most, so be careful screwing in plastic. Oh yeah, I'm using, like I said, like I mentioned, I'm using, just letting it slide in my hand when to control the torque. Then I can go back with a, just make sure I got them all. What is this? Oh, that's funny. You guys will see all this stuff. You'll see all of the, no matter what, it's going to show up. The messages. Let's not test that. There he is. Is it more efficient to just use the oven for 2 hours and then pack it in a dry box? I don't trust a dry box to keep it dry enough. I usually dry the PETG right the day before, the evening before I'm going to use it. And then I usually forget that I'm going to use it and leave it in the dry box running for a couple of days and then get around to finally printing with it after I've wasted all that energy. Hasn't even shipped yet. I did get the Dremel like tool though, not used it yet. So if I say bollocks, what will happen? Nothing. Cool. It's kind of a cool look. Okay, so all of those, Mr. Charlie. No count kangaroos. Uh-oh. Charlie hit a button. Charlie hit the DevTools button on the keyboard. Okay. Oops, that took focus away from the... So that goes in there, barrel goes in. Also, they want us to put, is there a O-ring that goes on the other end of this? I don't think so. I think it's just on this end. How is Charlie doing? Honestly, Charlie's slowing down. He's still eating, he's still comfortable, but we can tell. We can tell. This is a railgun. It has all the rails. I didn't see any mention of O-rings for the barrel. So let's go ahead and, now there on this barrel, there are two, the chamfers on the ends are different. This has a more, a steeper angle chamfer. I'm gonna assume that that goes towards the plunger, because this is all gonna go in from this side. Only prints in the Devil's Filament who loves PETG. Are you kidding? Oh. Okay, so that's gonna go there. We're gonna have this goes, I think I can put this on next. Put this here, and this is an example where I think I'm gonna need, yeah, I'm gonna need to do this one by hand because the screw, I don't have a long enough bit. So 2 screws here. Only complaint a USB-C connector isn't built in the base. Placing it back in the base and having it charge automatically would be nice. Oh yeah. Goes on there. That's all. Now the barrel with the correct chamfer size is going to go in there, and then a O-ring. The last shot Charlie had on your arm, he looks a little like he knows he's not right. Yeah. He's spending a lot of time laying on his little spot next to me. Okay, so then that tightens down, and now that's held in place. Nice. And this is just goes into printed threads here. Cool. Have you ever tried the Print Dry Pro? I really wonder how it would stack up to a food dehydrator. I have not. I bought my food dehydrator on Amazon for about 30 bucks several years ago and cut the center out of all the trays. And now I can fit 2 spools in there. Okay, so that's what they're talking about here. Let's put that on. There was an O-ring in there. The 5 seconds is probably, it might skip a couple of little things. We've been printing the NASA chainmail, some in Polymaker Starlight Jupiter, some in Sparta 3D ABS. I could tell the ABS was a little wet from the string. It's been on the printer for a few weeks. That was a tennis elbow. It's still sore. It's really annoying. I haven't done a lot of digging in the yard and stuff though, so I haven't aggravated it. I do have a strap, or actually it's a sling, because that's what the store had, but it has the pressure points in the right spot. The original print drive from their first Kickstarter command, or campaign. Nice. Okay. So I think we get on to the back. It is a Hodo screwdriver. He was talking about getting a new driver, was busy setting up a new batch of prints. Yeah, it was mentioned on stream a while back, and I ended up going ahead and buying it. Now let's turn this off and checking it out. Okay, that I can set aside. Now we're gonna get into this. Kind of showing, so I didn't read these instructions before I printed parts, but the reason there are several versions of this, and one of them has this area all enclosed, is because apparently when you have a beard and you're firing this, your beard can get caught in the mechanism, and the reason for the solid piece here is to prevent that. And I didn't know that. So we'll see if I lose any beard hairs today. Because I printed this piece, which has the name on it, but it's the open side. And this piece turned out freaking gorgeous. This was on the Mark IV. Just saw recently Cyborg is selling an Ender 3 to switchwire conversion. I saw that, and that's really cool. I hope it's good quality. Based on Dark Dog's conversion, and that's awesome. I have no idea if they worked with Dark Dog on that at all. I have no background. I hope they did, but many places do Voron kits and don't work with us, so. So this projectile firing device is not OSHA compliant for beards. No. No, I'm hoping I don't lose too many hairs. Okay, so talking about the difference and why, and there's some slight assembly sequence differences if you have the solid piece. It's just a little more difficult to assemble. So and there's some printed dovetail features up here you got to deal with, and whether they're too tight or not. But now we're getting into this piece. Okay, so we have that, and trigger, and release, not the trigger, but the release assembly. I think that's it for that. Fully large box Batman, what box? Talking about beards, discovered I already am starting to have gray hairs in my beard. You know what? I found a gray hair in my eyebrows. So, I mean, the gray hair in my head and beard that's old news. But I had a gray hair in my eyebrow, and that's new. I'm only 25. I don't even have a full beard. I guarantee I could find grays when I was 25. Where are you going, Charlie? Okay. Dak had to break up squealing match between grandkids. Fun. Okay, so that's gonna go. And just make sure that moves freely. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. And that. So we have this piece here. This goes in this orientation. A little release piece goes in there, and then one of the pins goes through here. So let's see. It is a tight, oh, it is a tight fit, which is good. I don't want this sliding out. Let me get a smaller screwdriver to push it back the other way. Okay. So that pin there, this goes in like that, and then that goes all the way in. Now, another nice little touch is Sillybutts made sure that there is access for pushing these pins out from the other direction. So let's just push that all the way in, and it's a nice friction fit, but this still moves freely, which is important. I ordered the Talon Claw parts to build my first Dart Blaster. Awesome, Bryce. Did I inspire that? Did Apulo inspire that? Okay. Talking about making sure that that moves. And that goes in and can be pushed out. When are you building the RC lawnmower? Is there a printable RC lawnmower? That sounds dangerous. There's different pieces here. Does that get screwed on there now? I think so. I think that can be, especially in this setup. So here's a little, that the plunger tube goes over this, and the this guy goes through here. And then this, I think this goes up actually. It goes like that. This goes here. And then this trigger piece in that orientation goes up and down. And then this pushes up to release. And you get pew. Google's pipe toss is chugging again. Keeps pausing, buffering. Ah. Apulo is a bad influence. Yes. The shenanigans at Murph inspired me to want to build a blaster. Awesome. Did you get to fire any of them that were there? Okay, so I think this can go right on here. And once again, I don't have a deep enough driver for that, so I'm gonna have to do these by hand. I need to remedy that. Get some deep. Oops, where is that? Get some deep bits. Hey, squirrel brain. I didn't graze until I started chemo at 42. Ew. Starting building a blaster so I can scare my dog when she pisses me off. I mean, if Jim comes back, Jim's squirrel, that might end up being a good deterrent. There's no way that one of these will actually hurt anything. I got my Trident to do its first print last night. Awesome. First gray eyebrow hair at 17. Playing with Taylor's for a bit. Awesome. Okay. So that's on there. Let's gonna go in there. Okay, so there is, I think this goes, this is gonna go in here. And then there's this piece goes on, and there's a spring that goes in there. Does this go on here now? Sillybutts is a fan of using threaded rods as trigger linkages. Yeah. Let's see. So I'm going to put this together now. They're still talking about the assembly differences between if you have the enclosed version or not. Which few maintenance does now, non-operation, benign. Oh, okay, good. Benign in my head, that's not good, but at least it's benign. Lots of talk on how this stuff goes together, but I thought there was more talk about the piece. Oh yeah, he goes through it here in a little more detail. So he does a little live action aside. And there is a chamfer on this. There is a chamfer modeled in on this release mechanism. Have you tried, or are you thinking on trying Huge Forge? I haven't tried. I'd love to. I just don't, right now I don't have time. I just don't. I'd love to do some prints. I'd like to do some like giveaway for family and stuff and friends. Because it's really one of those things that it doesn't matter if you're into printers or not. You see that and you think it's pretty cool, but okay, I think what I need to do here is does this have to get on here? Yeah, so we're gonna put a spring in here. The kit came with 2 springs. And then this is going to go in here. And there's a pocket in the printed part. Let's see how this is going to work out, because it doesn't want to stand up on its own. So how is that going to best go into place? Maybe, no, it instantly falls over. This is fiddly. Fiddly. Let's see if there's any, aha. There is a little, I think there's a little modeled in piece in here that holds that can hold that spring in, and I'm kind of twisting it in, and now it's holding. And now we're gonna, oop, nope. Oh, that is going to be a real pain in the neck. For the other blaster, was that printed with ABS? No, my other one was printed with, there we go. Now it's in place. That's gonna go there, and then there is a, oops, shoot, I'm gonna hold this all together. And then there's another piece on the back of this. Is that, no, that's this piece. This piece is gonna go on here, like this. There we go. There, and it goes in there like that. Now what screws need to go in, and did I miss any? I feel like there's a screw I need to put in. Does this go? Okay, there's nothing there. That just goes together, and there's nothing that actually holds it together. Oh, there's another spring I need. Is there a spring that goes in there? No, that's the push rod that goes in there. Let me see. For the other blaster, maybe a drop of glue. No, I think I got it. It's just fiddly. I'm just trying to determine if there are any fasteners that I need to put in before I clamp this together, because that goes like that. And there's nothing that actually holds it together right now, which is kind of not great. Hey, Lutian. I think I'm buying as well. Not sure how hard it can be. We're committed on projects, so yeah. So I think that's okay, just sitting there like that. Let's see. So just talking about getting that piece in. That goes there. That goes, slots into the dovetail features. And that goes about flush with that, it looks like. The threaded rod is going to go through there and push on the trigger. There's a small hole in the back of the butt plate to push out a stuck plunger without disassembling the blaster. That's good. Okay, and then I guess we go on to here. I guess this just sits here like this. So this just sits here like this. Now the idea is this trigger rod will go through here and through here, and that should push on that lever that's inside that assembly now and release this should go in here, and there. Now it's locked. Now it comes out. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside, and now we're going to build this part. Oops. Now we're going to build this part. Talking about another spring goes there for the release. There's also a stretchy cord option, but this kit came with springs. I printed the stretchy cord pieces, but that's okay. They can just sit there. And this is just talking about the way the assembly works first, and then they'll get into the actual assembly. There's a little detent piece here that gives the action to the bolt that this kit did not come with, but I ordered one from Out of Darts, so it'll be here when the other stuff gets here, and I'll put it in. Bunch of trigger options. This stuff. And I think we should get into assembly here. Okay, so first part is to grab the grip. Hey, Timor. Okay, so we have the grip here. I printed the option with a little foot on it. And we have this piece, which goes right here, and a single screw goes in, and this is going to be another one that's going to be too deep for my Hodo. Okay. So this goes in here, goes up into this part. Go. That's that. Okay, so screw there. And then the trigger goes in. Let's see what they say. Okay. So this threaded rod, this is going to be an interesting part of the build. Hey, Evil. So this is the trigger rod. Now it threads into the trigger up here. And this will thread in. This has to go up into here first and then thread in from the back. I don't know how. And they say thread it in about a centimeter. So let's mark off a centimeter here. Let's go blue. Let's mark off a centimeter. This needs to be tuned for trigger operation, but we're gonna start with a mark. Charlie is, like I mentioned earlier, Charlie is still eating. Charlie still seems mostly comfortable, but he does seem to be slowing down. Here's what I'm gonna do here instead. I am going to grab my drill and I'm going to cut some threads on this first. I'm gonna chuck this up in my drill and run this through. So I'm gonna hold this. That works really well. I'm gonna go a little past so I get some cut threads to make this easier to adjust later. And I'm on the same page, Apulo. There we go. There we are. That was about the 1 centimeter line. So now this will unthread a lot easier. And pull out a little melted plastic with it. Unfortunately, I went a little fast. Let's make sure all of that is out of there before a little melted plastic from cutting the threads. Put that over there. Now we can put it back in here and remark that because I lost my mark. What's that? Some multi-tone train whistles. They're allowed. Perfect for kids. Doesn't want to. We'll force that in there and then we'll use some pliers later if we have to. Oops, the other way. That'll do. Okay, so that's in there. Oh, and then I need to do the cord. So stretchy cord trigger. Let's see. Oops. Turn on carrot browsing. No. I think they probably talk about, yeah, this is the cord that goes up through here and gets tied on both ends for trigger feel. So I'm going to tie a knot on one side. Bring this up to the end. That's already melted, so that's good there. And we feed this through here. Feed it all the way through. To oops, I tied that. I pulled that too tight right away. pull this down. There we go. That feels pretty decent. It just has to pull it back. Okay. And we can cut this off. And seal it. And then we have a little extra in case I screwed that up. Here. I'm gonna seal this in too. Make sure both ends are sealed. Okay, so that is extra now at this point, because we'll use a spring for the mag release. Cool. That part. Just talking about that. And then I think we put the sides on. So let's go ahead and put this side on first. It's gonna set in there. And we get to use the screwdriver. And I think it's that one. Can go on right now. Okay. Let's see. Oh, there's 2 screws that go in for that piece. This goes in here. But I think that one goes on, and that one goes on, and that goes in between. Nothing else there? Okay. So we can put both sides on. Shoot your link to the ping pong popper in the stream chat. Something about another birthday, maybe. The grandson requests them for every birthday. Nice. Actually, the ping pong, I'll have an eye on that too. Is there a Charlie treat time scheduled? Next time he gets up, we'll get him some treats. Or if we feel like doing it sooner, to get his reaction getting up. Make sure that one is, oops, righty-loosey, unfortunately, but I think it'll be fine. That one did strip. I'm gonna leave it alone. Once it strips, you leave it alone, and I don't think it's a critical spot, so I think it's okay. Let's get this thing in here. Okay. Starting to look like a handle. Grip. Almost at 10,000 subscribers. We're probably at the current rate. Last 30 days was 200. So if you extrapolate that out, we're well into fall before we'll hit that. So unless something picks up. How many here are dual streaming? Oh, is Nero going right now? Huh, I didn't know Nero was going right now. I did not know that. Wakey, wakey, Charlie, it's treat time. I did not know that. I try not to overlap, especially his. Yeah. Oh, Nero didn't either? Okay. He probably didn't know I was either. But whatever. If he didn't know either, then I don't feel bad. Nero doesn't have a Charlie. Nero pushed yesterday's stream to today. It was last minute. Okay. That is fine. We still have 90 people here. That's really good for a Charlie's Angel stream. 2 streams at once. Okay, now those go on the little detent thing. Those go on that. I don't know what he's talking about there. Oh, and then that's that pin. So let's go ahead and put this side on. So that is this guy. Okay. This is gonna go in here. This one is kind of important. I'm not gonna risk stripping it. So, not that I want to buy something new again. What's the screwdriver you are using today? It's the Hoto, H-O-T-O. It was mentioned on stream a few streams ago. I had no idea what people were talking about. That goes all the way through. I wonder if that's supposed to go into another part. Huh. It doesn't say so in the instructions, so. Oh, is there another part that goes there? This part goes here. It does go into another part. Never mind. That goes into a different part. Just an Ugga, not a Dugga. Yeah. Let me loosen this up. I think this goes in right here. I think. Is that right? I didn't see him do that. Oh, that's this part. Going the other way. Okay. And yeah, it goes in like that. So this goes in right here. And then that locks that in. Now this pin we got goes here, and the mag release goes right here. And making sure that it's behind this feature here. So now this gives us that part, and then this will go on here, right like that. I'm going nowhere, this is the one and only. Thanks, Tracy. Okay. These commit your changes or stash them before you merge. Okay, so now that goes there. There's a little spring that's going to go down here. That's going to help that setup. Okay, that goes there. That, the pin, the mag release. Make sure it's in that spot, and then the other side goes on. And then the mag, whatchamacallit, here. And that slides on with a spring in there. So this is there's a dovetail feature here that matches up with a dovetail feature there. This goes on just like that. But before I get too far on that, I need to put this spring in here. And then another one of those. There is a modeled in feature on here, but how well it prints and how well it holds. Oop, Oh, let's see if we can, it looks to be better printed on this side. I'm twisting the spring into it, hoping to get it to catch and hold just well enough. And then we're gonna tweak this up into, there we go. I like that. A couple of screws into here. Hold this into place. Awesome. Oh, come on. Get in there. It was starting to separate right here because it hadn't caught threads on that next piece, but now it's tucking back in, pulling back in. I have short fingers, so that's not likely to be. I'll just grab it, grab the magazine here. See, this should go. Oops, that'll go right there. Sweet. That goes there, 2 screws there. And normally, so these holes here on the side could be used for an elastic spring on the for the mag release as well. But this kit comes with metal springs. Okay, now I think we can attach the 2 sides with the, okay. So first step is going to be take the metal strips, and these are going to go in like this and tighten down right there. That's the wrong way. It's going the other way. Tighten down right there. For these, I am not taking a chance of stripping them. There we go. And then the other side. This just gives some rigidity to the assembly, I think. Oh, there's Mr. Charlie. Is he ready for treat time? That's probably a good treat time. You ready for treat? All the springy bits work well. Okay, treat time. Ready for treat, Charlie? Let's see, what are we gonna do for the view? I left all my crap in here. Usually I clean out the garage a little more than today, but whatever. Assume there's a proper sequence to update clipper main cell after you've been using it without it borking everything. Yeah, I've been told just hit the update all, but we need treats. I could use some treats. Okay, let's see what kind of view we get here. This is going to be probably good enough. Get the keyboard out of the way so he doesn't activate something. And if you keep an eye out, he is gonna jump down real quick. Are you ready, Charlie? Do Do you want some? Hmm? There we are. I make him talk to me. I make him ask for his treats. Yeah? Oh, you got it? Did you get it? Awesome. He loves his treats. These are kitty crack. Guys, don't make him burn calories he doesn't need to. He's getting all the calories from the treats. You want one more? Hmm? One more. This message held for review. Show. Okay, last one. Good kitty. Okay, let me rinse off my fingers. So, Charlie doesn't bite me. Yep. Now he's going to be hunting for additional treats for a few minutes. Okay. Reorganize. Oops. Charlie bit my finger again. Yes. Okay, he's going to go through. We're going to talk about putting those in, and then that's on. I think are we ready to put the back of the blaster on? I'm gonna let it play here for a second, just to get the next, instead of going 5 seconds at a time. Put those fasteners in. All of those are in. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I never put the handle on. Here, let's do that while we're waiting. We have this, and we have the longer of the bolts, I assume, and then we have the lever. So there's a little printed feature in here and a notch here, so those match, and then a fastener in there, and oops, that is not the one, the long one. Yep, longer. This goes in here and gets nice and snug. There. Now that'll create that is still as straight as I think it needs to be. I can see the O-ring in there, which is not great, but that'll all get fixed when I replace this assembly. Fix my screw up. Okay. There's Charlie. He's laying there. It's he. I think, yep, he was peeing on his bed. I mean, he barely got a dropout, so I think we're okay. Poor cat. We're gonna do a quick Dancing Max intermission while I go grab my super lube. Be right back. Okay, I am back. I have super lube, and let's see where we are. Just let him go through. We're almost at the end. I think it's time for this. We're kind of testing the. I'm gonna try for you that Dancing Max loop smoother. Don't know why he's hanging when the GIF restarts. The be right back message is off center to the pick, is it? Oh, it didn't used to be. I screwed something up probably when I was messing with my scenes. I spy with my little eye in LDO box. Oh yeah, that has stuff that I forgot to take to open sauce. Has a few shirts and rulers and stuff. Yeah, I that didn't used to be. You would have noticed it if it was before too. I think I was messing around with scenes, and I must have bumped the text. Where are we? We are going to this. We are going to put this inside this. Oh, yeah, inside this, which means we need to lube that O-ring. So I'm just gonna grab my super lube. Super lube here and try to get a good amount down in here, and then lube the inside of the plunger tube as well. John, you had to do everybody sees it anyway. Had to do that when I got gunk on my fingers. Here, left-handed mouse. Left-handed mouse. I did it. Okay, so that's gonna go, oops. Go like that. And then I'm going to set this over here. And then we're gonna put a liberal amount of super lube inside the plunger. In here, right? I'll push forward with the plunger tube. Oh, Charlie is. And then just make sure I didn't get any on the outside here. Okay, we'll put this out of the way. Charlie's less likely to get to it. And then this guy, this is gonna go here, this is gonna go up, and it goes in there. I was using my left pinky finger to spread lube. Yeah. And it flagged, of course. Okay, that's done there. I think the next part is testing. Oh, we didn't put this back. I don't remember him telling us to do that, but we can. I still don't understand. Oh, I'm not showing. I'm still trying to understand this assembly. Goes there, but why is that pin? Why is that pin right there? It doesn't do anything. There's a pin right here. There's a pin right here that doesn't hold anything. What's it supposed to hold? This goes in here, but what's it supposed to hold? There's nothing there. let's look at the CAD. What is going on with it? If we go here and here, let's. This pin here is what I'm wondering about. And if we find this and we get rid of that and we get rid of that. Oh, there's, okay, that's, do those actually slide through there? Yes, okay, that's what's going on. The aluminum rods go there. See you, Evil. Take care. Tomorrowland time. Hey, Obi-Wan Kenobi. We will need to find a good, time-consuming, 3D printed lightsaber build then to balance this out. Okay, so that is why that goes there. I think we can, what do we got here? I think I accidentally put myself into full screen mode there. There we go. Okay. That's why they are so much fun. Then let's put this back. Let's put this back on here because I don't want that piece to go flying. It's gonna go like that. And there is a nut that's gonna go up in here before we bolt on this rear piece. And I think that can go ahead and go on, and that'll hold all of this together now. Now this is one of the optional parts, and this was printed on the Mercury 1. Look how well that did. I mean, it is carbon fiber filament, but there are no Z artifact evident. Yeah, that did really well. 3D printed lightsaber chassis for metal hilts I own. Nice. So there are multiple pieces of this. A lot of the feedback I saw out there is that the stock isn't really long enough. So I just printed, last night I printed, when I was printing this, I went ahead and printed the longest one, and that's what we'll put on here right now. This is the normal one, and this is the longer one. So we will have to use the other fastener here. Now what is that? I don't know what this is for. Oh, I think that's just a air release for the plunger. Someone's been managing to turn him some lightsaber pieces on the lathe. He has a couple of lightsabers already. Nice. Okay, so I think that we don't do anything with that. This goes all the way in here, and that's a deep hole. This is gonna go right onto there. Now, make sure that my nut is still in here that I captured in there. That's for looks double the size. Yeah, at least double. And I'm not showing this, but I'm gonna get a good grip on it first. There we go. And one more. Oh, maybe three more, two more. It's that. I don't know if that one, I think that one stripped. There was no effort to strip that, unfortunately. And these go together here. So dark blue filament used for the stock. This is Mermaid's Tail Teal from Protopasta. And that one's stripped too. Some of these are stripping a little easier than I'd like, but that'll hold on. That'll be fine. Okay, that goes there. It's got a nut in there for when we attach the thumb guard thing. Let's see. Now I think we can test the priming, make sure everything goes in, that goes there. Actually, we don't want to test it yet. We just want to assemble it, I think. Spring, that goes there. Okay, let's do it. So we have this and this and this. So this is gonna go in here with the notch up. And then that goes over that. Oh, and I forgot to, I forgot to put the spring in it. So I can, and it did trigger, I mean, it did catch, but now I can just do that. Push a screwdriver in there. Gotta put the spring on. There we go. Now, make sure that goes up, upwards, yep. And that goes there. Now, does this go on here? And this lines up through here. And this goes in this. That goes through. There. So that goes like that. That all lines up at the back. So I think I can put this pin in. Hey, KB. Chris, how you doing? Just push that in. There we go. And then push it the rest of the way in. So now that is a assembly? No, I forgot to put the piece right here. I forgot. We bring either of these blasters to Earth. There is a very, very small chance because, and that chance is based on, and I forgot to do that. So let's, oh, shoot. I pushed the wrong one out. There we go. I pushed the wrong one out. There we go. So that chance is based on if I build a drag racer. If I build a drag racer, then this can come out of here. This goes in here first. This piece. And that gets screwed in from the front. So there's a screw right here. If I build a drag racer, then I am definitely shipping it to someone, maybe Scott, whatever. And if I'm shipping something, then it's possible that I could throw a blaster or two in the packaging. So I think the official recommendations on these, Bryce, is either PETG or PLA. Apulo will correct me if I'm wrong, but in general, I think they recommend those. Okay, so that's back, that goes there. Now this is here, and now this whole assembly can come on to the end. Blasters have a rank, oh yeah, I answered that. Is that all I have to do? Goes in there. That goes there. Now we've got a. So that goes there, and then gets pushed all the way in. Okay, this is. Burger feels good. Now we can see. Now it's primed. And I am going to. That goes there, and then I should be able to plug the end and see if this works. Yep, and it seals pretty good. Awesome. Trigger feel as it is works. It caught, it latched, it released. If it did not do all of that, then you would adjust that threaded rod. PLA is recommended, okay. I have that teal and haven't printed with it in ages. I've forgotten how good it looks. It looks so good. I love this orange too with the gold flake in it. So Apulo, there were 2 spacers in here in the printed parts. And I suspect now looking at this, there's a little gap here. Is that intended to kind of fill that gap? Because I think this thinner spacer might be a good spot right there. Is that intended to go there or in the front here? It might be the front. Is that what that's for? Yep, okay. I'm gonna take this apart so I can put this spacer in here to take up this little gap right here, I think. Or at least I'm gonna see if it's going to fit. So that means just pulling this pin and then pulling this, that can stay there. Pulling this out. We can set this aside too. And then I think this screw. Now, I have, this is the thinner spacer, and that lines up with the angles there. So I think that is exactly where that would go. Dry spot in my throat, sorry. Why is that not? There isn't a hole for that. Does it actually go in the back? That doesn't line up at all. And there's not a hole in the part for the screw. It seems like it would go right here, but there's not a hole for the screw. It doesn't go in the back because all the angles line up right here. It doesn't even come close to lining up back here. I think that's a mistake in the model. Let's see. What do I have in here? Yeah, I'm gonna make a hole. I need to find a small drill bit. It's marked already where the screw tried to go through. So let's just make a hole. And then this is just plastic, so I'm gonna make sure my finger isn't behind it. And just go very slow speed. Wow, that is a very dull drill bit. I have, clean it up. do a little X-Acto knife reaming. Make sure that's centered and bigger than the screw. Okay, now let's try it. Goes there. There we go. Imagine that. That works. There we go. Okay, now this can go back here. This goes this way. Where's the, why does that not go on? What's going on? Okay, that goes there. This goes here. What is that catching on? There we go. And that goes there, and that tightens up that gap. That tightens up. Push. Ah, that might tighten it up too much. There we go. Got it. There we go. Could use just a hair thinner, but that does really stiffen that up. There was some play there because of that gap there. So a slightly thinner shim than this is what I would have needed. The other shim, I used the thinner one. The thicker one would not have worked at all. A little coaxing, and that's nice, and that goes. So yeah, we're on the home stretch, I think. What time is it? Well, we're doing good. We'll have some time to play. Okay. Yeah, the seal, I saw your comment there. The seal is good, so it's going to fire well. What is this? Don't ask again. Cancel. Okay, so that goes there. That goes in. It's there. Let's see what he's saying. Just making sure that all, so this all works. So then I think it's just a matter of putting the front on. Make sure the front doesn't fall off. Oh, I need to put some grease on the, let's skip ahead a little bit. The plunger is not catching the trigger. So this is talking about trigger tuning, but mine seems to work okay. Hey Tracy, no problem. Thank you for being here. And this time at OC Maker Fair, you need to stop by. We can put that in there. Okay. This is the, what do they call this? Thumb guard, something. This goes up in here, kind of flexes into place. That nut that we put in the back It's back there, and then one goes here, and that's these bolts. So that should hopefully go in here and just tighten down. Yep, caught the thread. And then a nut dropped in here. One more screw going in from the front. I would totally want to mod this to add an RGB LED that generates muzzle flash. Awesome. Check that out. Well, that's interesting. Oh yeah. Okay, I don't think my beard's long enough. I don't think I'm gonna actually get caught here. So, very sweet. This is looking good. You can buy an aluminum one that also has UV to charge glow-in-the-dark darts, tracer darts. Okay. I think the end is, that's that nut that we just put in. And then the front goes on. And there's nothing, oh, I need to lube that. I need to lube that. So let's get here. Get a little bit of, and then these O-rings here need some lubrication. I don't know how much is too much. Just get that in there. I think I want any on the back side of that. Oh, you're not leaving yet, just making sure. Oh, thanks, Tracy. I appreciate that. The way Charlie is laying right now. There. How much does a part kit go for? Out of Darts sells it for, I think Out of Darts and Silver Fox Industries. Now, this is the Silver Fox Industries kit that I have here. The reason Out of Darts is on my mind is that they're the closest to me. But both of them sell for $45. Okay, that goes there. That's nice. This is good. So that's in place. So now we can take our front, and that's gonna go right in there. Yeah. And then we just put a bunch of screws in, and it is done. So there are, oh, we got, yeah. Now, one thing is, I'm thinking this might be too fast for PETG. I think that might be part of the problem with some of those. Hi, Charlie. You coming up here? Coming back to visit? I think it might be melting on some of those. So let's slow it down. Just doing it by hand. To the other side. How are you liking the new electric driver? It's got, I mean, I haven't been wanting for torque. A variable speed would be nice, as someone else mentioned. Is that an extra O-ring? No, that O-ring will get used, just in a little bit. What is that round part next to the part tray? This round part is the correct printed part for the plunger in here. Not the plunger, but the stop in the plunger tube. the part that's in here is actually, by my mistake, an incomplete print, because I had a failed print that I thought that finished, so I used it, but it's missing the last millimeter or so of the print. There's a little center here that sticks up. And what my concern was, is that was going to cause a leak in the system, and this wouldn't perform as well. It may be doing that, but it seems like just from that dry fire that we did, it'll at least shoot a dart. Okay, and then there's one that goes up here in the top. This goes here, and this goes in here at an angle. This one is going in at an angle, so don't be concerned when you put that in. Ram base. Okay, and then last one is the under rail and grip. Now, when I was test fitting these things, this was a tight fit. So what I think I'm gonna do is do some sanding here, some filing. There's a bolt handle designed in a way that's left-handed shooter friendly. There are left-handed versions. All the printed parts that matter for handedness, there are left-handed versions. And it's all just in printed parts. So I'm just gonna take some, this is the only part that I found on the whole thing that was tight when I was kind of dry fitting stuff. So just kind of get some. And then probably take a little off the side here. And let's see how that worked. All the little pieces of paper towel that got snagged on little bits of filament ends. Okay, let's see if I can get that on there now. So this is gonna go on here like that. Go ahead and use the driver. Are you gonna come up here, Charlie? Okay, now this should slide onto here. This on, I don't know what. Yeah, I'll leave it somewhat forward. Oh, bump. And then there's a little printed part in here that locks it in place. So let's try to shift this forward a little bit. And I think there we go. There. I hold that there. And yeah, these are actual sized for real Picatinny rails. Okay, now the last piece is the scar. So it is a rifled barrel tip, basically. I don't know if we can get a view of the rifling in there. but that is what this last O-ring is for. Is that goes on, and then, so this goes on all the way, and then this, oops. What do I have? Oh, I didn't know that these were all the same thread. This is the one that actually goes here. There we go. Make sure that's in all the way, that's tight. I used the wrong one. There's different sizes of the knurling on this piece, and I printed 2 of them, and that's what that was. That overcam and the autofocus is terrible. I'm sorry. So this goes here, this goes here, this goes on all the way, and then this should thread in and lock that in. Now we have a completed blaster. Nice. Between the, oh, when I lean over, well, yeah. Very cool. So then, cool, let's fire it. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Apulo. There is a screw that goes in here. I was wondering, because this seemed a little loose. That is a good thing to be there. A screw going in here to hold that in place. Now it's done. Were any parts printed with 100% infill? These parts here were printed with high perimeters and high infill. I didn't do 100% on these. I wanted to see how it went. But I think these 2 parts would be the ones that you want extra strong. Okay, are we ready to fire it? It's gonna be, we got a couple of things we can do here. Where did I put the darts? Okay, I've got work starts, and I've got the target, whatever version darts. I'll load up some work starts. I don't know if it looks dangerous. These are so I believe that this should outperform my Talon Claw, right? Let's just mix in some of the other darts. Let's do, first one's a work, second one's a, I don't remember what the brand is. Ready to fire, where's she? Yeah, I know. My son is home, but okay. What is going to be, is this going to be best? Yeah, this will work. So, out. There we go. Are we ready? Let's shoot the basketball. Woo! Nice. Woo! Awesome. Awesome. Look at that thing. Yeah, this long stock was good. Was a good thing. Still chat in that view? Oh, that's the wrong. Oops. That's funny. That's from the last stream, and it's because of the way I have my setup. Let me see. Give me a moment. Let me see if I can fix that. Let me see if I can fix that. I think there, and let's get rid of that. And let's add that. There we go. We cannot hear it with the music and the noise canceling. Here, let's do a quick fire without noise canceling. Okay, so noise canceling should be off. Is it? So noise canceling should be off. Can you hear any different? Does it sound any different? So we should be able to do, you should be able to hear all the noises. The AC is running, yep. We're ready? Holy moly. Okay, I thought I had learned my lesson. I thought that this would be stronger. But that is dented in right there. Oops, I thought that would be stronger. I'm not gonna shoot that anymore. Okay, let's have a little more fun. Let's have a little more fun. I bought a, I'm drawing a blank. A chronograph. There we are. That was the word I was trying to think of. What size spring? I think is that the K26 Apulo? Is that the K26? I did buy a chrono. It just came in yesterday. I charged it last night. It's got a 18650 battery in there. Yeah, I'll be shooting the basketball. K25? Okay, so this guy here, we turn it on, we get a little display, and I don't know. Holy moly, that's hard to read. It's in meters per second. Here, unit. Oops. There we go. And speed, we are going to go feet per second. Okay, so, okay, now it's in feet per second. I posted on Neo chat, Steve is up to a bit where he will deny his garage door. I placed insulation on the inside of my garage door when I lived in Texas. That was a game changer. Yeah. You can probably turn noise. Oh, thank you. I can turn noise canceling back on. Thank you. Let me do that. Okay. I am liking the contacts. It is a game changer for me. It can be a little cumbersome to deal with, but huge difference. What can we do here? I'm trying to figure out. No, I don't usually do giveaways, Michael, on the Charlie's Angel streams. I might try them one day, yeah. What did, up to the bit where we'll, yes. Okay, I have the chrono. It has a mount on it. I don't know that I need to use that. Let's see if I can find something I can set it on to get it at a good height. And then we'll do some measurements, some testing. And something I can hopefully get the camera at But let's just do V0 build parts. And if I set this right here, and if I do this a little further over, now I think if I raise this, can we get a good view? Oh yeah. Now I think I can do that, and then I should, and what's behind it is not anything. So now I got to get way down because here, can I add anything else to this to get it higher? What can I add to get this higher? We're gonna play around with this setup to try to make this a little more comfortable. A box and move this up. Is that better? Yeah, much better. Much better. Okay, so I've got that. Here, now I've got an extension for my tripod. So let's and let me add this extension here real quick. Charlie is chilling. That, and then that. Now this can go back on here, and this can go right there. We need to go over and kind of come at it from an angle. Is that gonna focus? Ah. Okay, now we can see what it is. We ready? Oops. Okay, we ready? 187. 217. 215. 222. Oh. Uh-oh. I'm jammed. Oh. And I dropped it. I am jammed right here. Something has jammed up. That's right there. Something has jammed. It did not unjam when I dropped it. Rebuild time. I'm wondering what actually jammed. It's not doing anything. So, yeah, I know. I've got it's not fully compressed. So we're not dealing with full, let's pull this out. That's working well. Steve rebuilds, yes. What can I do here? I think this pin here, what is causing it to jam is the question. I think it's got to be, yeah, if those are going straight, if those screws are going straight in, it means that the whatever this rod is has twisted and it's gotten caught up in this piece here. So Bob, the way that these blasters are designed, there's one O-ring here for sealing, and then the other one wraps around this printed feature to act as a bumper for when it hits the front. So it's not plastic on plastic, it's the O-ring on there. It's a really clever design. Let me see, yeah, that's a good point. See if I can squeeze and turn. There we go, good call. Good call. So So when that turns, it's pulling that highly chamfered piece. So I think that's maybe a factor of using PETG because PETG is stickier. It might be a factor of the extra chamfers there getting caught in the piece back here. This was fun, saw the end result. My wife wants to go back out. Have a good afternoon. See ya, Sean and Laura. Okay, so I got it undone. I think I can keep that from happening again. Does it have a, I think it's got a dart in there. So let's go ahead and put this in here and go back to this view. And I'm just going to, instead of pulling all the way up and cocking it, I'm going to go straight back. Oh, and I think I just double loaded. Well, that was 227, so I must not have. Okay, now I want to take the scar off and see what numbers we get. So we got a peak of 227 on this. So that's off, and let's do it again. Well, that's encouraging. It doesn't seem to be impacting the, Jesus. This is cool. This is very cool. I'm getting a pretty consistent 225 with or without the scar. That's pretty darn cool. I'm gonna put the scar back on because it should be more accurate. I don't have a good way of testing that here, but where are the darts going when you're measuring it? Through this hole here. And the background is just that corner of the garage. There's a little vacuum set up there. It doesn't matter. What did I miss? Never been interested in these until now. The garage door is not the other side. No, no. Poor vacuum. If you enter the correct diameter and weight of the darts, then it would give an energy rating. Yes, but I didn't see. I'll have to check to see what options there are. Yeah, no doors to hit right here. Okay, let's pull out the Talon Claw and see how it measures on this. This is very cool though. Holy moly! Thanks, Apulo. And like I said, I have a slab on order now. Got a hole through the plastic of my insulation and the insulation itself on my door as well. Yeah, I just put a dent, a sizable dent in mine. Okay, so the Talon Claw here, the Talon Claw is exactly as it was when at Murph. It did see quite a bit of action at Murph. So let's see how the thing goes. What's the speed difference between the two dart brands? That's a good question. We can do that. We'll put one every other dart in the thing. So we're gonna go here and then here. And these are all never, I'm pretty sure these are almost all never been fired darts. I wish the flat rods were anodized on the Talon. They're aluminum. You can clean them up and anodize them. Okay, so for the Talon Claw here, we're gonna do every other dart, and then we'll do it again with the other one. Let's see where we end up. Now the Talon Claw here has the bearing scar. The other one is just a printed feature in there. You need to look in the CA stream chat after for the holy moly reaction. I made a little something, uh-oh. Okay, so first dart, target brand, then works, then target, then works. What is that brand? I don't remember. I'm drawing a blank. And this will be Talon Claw. And like I said, I have not fired this thing since Murph. 208, and that was target brand, right? So that was works, this is target. Works now. Oh, that was a target. That was a works. That was a target. That was a works. This is a target. Is that it? Yep. They're pretty close. Dart Zone Pro. Okay. Pretty close, right around the 200 feet per second range on my Talon Claw with the bearing scar. Cerakote would be better than anodizing. It adds lubricity and has more color options. On the barrel, that would be good. On these straps, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna take the scar, the bearing scar off the Talon Claw and try it on the Cynthia. There we go. And then let's load it up. The other guns seem to be a good 10 to 15% higher FPS, yeah. And I think that was expected, right? Apulo, we were expecting the Cynthia to it has a stronger spring. It's the stronger blaster. This one, yeah, the Talon Claw I can definitely shoot at a faster rate. It's quicker, much quicker to prime and a little more stable. This, the lever or the bolt on this doesn't feel, it feels like you have to be somewhat careful with it. Even if you don't, that's just the impression you get. I think that's all of the target ones I have here. Okay, so first one's gonna be works. First one's gonna be works. This is with the same bearing scar as the other blaster. So just put it right on the barrel there. I think I can. So that was a works, this is a target. This is works. This is target. This is works. This is target. This is works. Oh, come on. Did it again. Let's see if I can get it to. Let's pull this out. I don't think I have. Just twist and turn. Yep, I'm trying. It does not want to. I can't get that to, I can't get it to unjam right now. Oh. Yeah, it's doing the same thing. It's the, let's see if I can squeeze it over. Yeah. What's the physical difference between the two dart brands? I think there may be a slight weight difference. Here, let's. There is a tip design difference and a slight length difference. I don't have a accurate enough scale to check weight. That is awesome though. Aside from this jamming problem, I'm not sure what to do about that. There is the CAD, so I could try designing the latch piece to have less of a chamfer. But right now it's pretty jammed up. So, and the trick of squeezing it, it's too greased up. It's too lubed up to do anything. Let's see what we can do about getting into that. I think the end piece. I don't know if this is a great idea. The whole thing may go flying. Okay. So what other pieces hold this together? So those two screws are gonna hold this whole thing, right? Now that that's off. Yeah. Let's see. The bottom one with the long screws. No, this doesn't hold that piece together. This whole handle part should come apart, right? Is that right? That screw and that screw. And then I could be wrong. Okay, so those two are off, and then, oh, nope, that wasn't it. What is it that hold? Let's put that back on. Is it seriously that? Oh, maybe you're right. The bottom one with the long screws. I think Maurice is probably right. Yeah, you are. I should have listened. Okay, so now that is very primed. I'm just gonna hold this. There we go. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Now let's pull this out of here and investigate what's going on. So it is definitely, there's a little bump there. I think it's definitely catching. There is a little bit of elephant's foot here. I might scrape that off and see if that helps keep it from doing it. And Tri-Vent has a little buddy now, Dordent. Okay, so I'm gonna take my X-Acto knife here and I'm just gonna use it as a scraper to get rid of any sign of that elephant's foot. But I think a little less of chamfers here would help a lot. So I'm gonna go in and remodel this piece since he included the CAD, which is wonderful, and reduce those chamfers. Are you changing the misprint part or is it fine? I have ordered, I can't change the misprint part until I get my new plunger tube, but I ordered one. It'll probably be here in a week or so. They said 3 to 5 days for the slab kit, so that's gonna hold up the whole order, but that's okay. I'm gonna try to just kind of ease this area where it was obviously catching. Okay. And then we're gonna look at this. Yeah, what's happening is this is, as I'm pulling it back twisted, it's just the PETG is rubbing against each other, and PETG is not very slick. I don't know if it would be better if I printed this out of a different material. Maybe something, I mean, I could even do PLA at that point. There's nice proof added by, oh, I'll have to look at that after stream. Okay, let's give this, make sure I don't have any shavings on anything, since I was just doing that over the top of everything, which is not great. That goes in there. And all of this, oops, that's okay to stay right there. Lube it. I think we're okay. I didn't take any, I didn't remove any. I think we're still good, and I'm gonna be redoing this anyway. Okay, and then this has to go straight up and down. Right there. It has to go right in. There we go. Right there. Then it's left to line up. It's not wanting to close that gap. Oh, I know what it is. It's the polycarbonate on that piece. So right there we go. Right like that. Then let's put this pin. Where did the pin go? There's the pin. So the pin goes in like that. This goes in like this. I think it would be good to reduce that chamfer, reduce its range of motion for twisting. If you reduce that, then it's going to be less likely to catch. Now, this side needs a little bit of, there we go. And let's take the other scar off, put the printed one on. There we go. Okay, is there anything I'm missing? Did I get that completely back together? Okay, let's fire it. It looks like, in general, the Works darts fire a little faster. Oops. Okay. Now, one of the cool things that folks have mentioned with this blaster is you have full sight of the dart loading point, so you can tell exactly when you're out of darts. Yeah, last one was 220. Let's see where we're at here. I'm just gonna pull straight back. Very consistent 220s. What can we do here? Let's go here, and let's go here, and what do we got there? Basketball in the other corner. Basketball in the other corner, huh? I know the lighting isn't great. Ooh, a little high. Ooh, right at me. Oh, there we are. Oh, I might be dry fire. Yep. Oh boy, that's awesome. That is awesome. Don't hit the window. Poor Charlie's sitting at the garage door. Where is he? Where'd he go? He's wandering somewhere. I actually don't know where he is. Where are you, Charlie? That's funny. I don't see him. I don't know. Oh, there he is. He was behind the air compressor. Come here, Charlie kitty. Oh, nope, not gonna interrupt him right now. Chasing the darts. Yeah, I got a little bit of a mess to clean up. There are a bunch of them, but this thing is freaking awesome. I think this is maybe a little better view. There we go. This is a complete blaster now. Need to figure out that jamming thing, and I think the tweak to the part might help. I do need to print some display mounts for these. Holy moly, look at that color. I do need to print some display mounts for this. Ask your son which one he likes more. He took off. Heard his truck take off. He went somewhere. He's not here anymore. But that is fun. That is a lot of fun. Yeah. So, Steve's blasters. This is good. This is good. This is good member stream content, right? This is really what this is about. Just hang out, build something that we can do in a stream. I like stuff that I can do within a stream for these. It seems to be good. Then Heck did a Roomba mod to collect Nerf darts. Nice. We met Ben at Murph. He's gonna build a trident. Apulo is helping him. We pay for the garage door repair. Yes. Solid member stream content. Thank you. Thank you. I am very pleased. Thanks again, Apulo. Like I said before, this kit, all the parts came from Silver Fox Industries. From everything I know, Silver Fox and Outer Darts are both the place to go for, like, they're definitely giving back. They're kicking back to the designers, which I think is important. So I think we're gonna call it at that. 3 hours, that's good. I've got a bunch of stuff I need to do today still. So from there, it's going to be, tomorrow we're gonna be back on the V0 with Bowden and Rep firmware. Yeah, like collecting darts, exactly. So back on the V0 tomorrow. There's a very good chance that tomorrow will be the last stream for the V0 as we take a detour to the VZ bot build, which is this box here. So that is full of printer. So I'll just leave this up. Let me get, oh no. The side effect of shooting over in the direction of the litter box is I have several darts in the litter box. The box looks a little bent, but they packaged well and everything looks to have survived. So anyway, hope to see you all tomorrow. Otherwise, I don't know what we're gonna do for Charlie's Angels stream in August, but we'll figure something out, and I'm not sure when it's gonna be yet either. So once again, thanks for being members. And we will see you, like I said, tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Bye.